my solo guitar adaptation of The Who's iconic rock anthem, Baba O'Reilly, which I play Capo 1. Okay, I'm especially proud of this song arrangement as it feels like this is how Who guitarist Pete Townshend may have originally composed it. on acoustic guitar, perhaps in a parallel universe. So I use the capo at the first fret here and perform the song as if it were in the key of E, which enables me to use these droney chord shapes, right? Which totally bring to mind Dave Matthews' Crash Into Me. So you got the open B and E strings there, and I'm fretting this B note on the 4th fret of the G string, relative to the capo, and then holding down the E, and then making all the alterations with the bass. And another song that is very much like this is Best of You by the Foo Fighters, which Dave Grohl wrote without a capo. I got another confession to make. I'm no fool. Then he goes to B sus4. So that's another one similar to it. And one more, Pardon Me by Incubus. So maybe those were the inspiration behind this. But anyway, the concept here is to use those open B and high strings as ringing drones along with the fretted notes and a melodic bass line on the lower strings. Now, due to the capo transposition here, everything sounds a half step higher in Baba's original key of F major. But you also have the option of not using the capo at all and just performing the song a half step lower in the key of E, which is something I myself will occasionally do on gigs if my voice is feeling a little rough and I need to just take it down a half step. Okay, so to emulate the noodly sound of the keyboard part that begins the song in the original recording, which by the way was performed by Pete Townshend on a Lowrey organ using its automatic arpeggiator function. It's like an old school arpeggiation thing. So I play this recurring root 5th octave 5th pattern. It's like root 5th octave 5th root. And begin by gently kind of double picking the fretted E and B notes. And then open high E. And then the open B. And you want to let them all ring together, especially these two Bs, which almost feel like a chorus of two unison strings on a 12 string or a mandolin, right? So I count those two B notes as the middle note. Okay, you have the low E note, the middle B, and then the high E. So it's... And then I add the bass line. You can start it like this. For a lighter sound. And then the singing. Out here in the fields, I fall from my nails. So that continues until the heavy part where the drums come crashing in, Keith Moon comes crashing in, and so do I with my foot drums here. I go. Okay, do that a few times and then kind of hold on B sus4. Keeping that double picking thing going, and that's don't cry, don't raise an eye. Back to E5. It's only teenage wasteland. Oh, and by the way, when I'm playing that E5 chord, so it's the pinky here on the 4th fret of the G string, actually the 5th fret, right? But we're thinking in terms of the capo transposition. The E note here at the 2nd fret, but I'm also covering the B note at the 2nd fret on the A string. This is called shared fingertip fretting. It's not barring, it's using the fleshy paw of my fret index finger. So it's kind of like when you're playing a strummed octave, except you're actually fretting that with one finger, okay? So the other chords, it goes. That's like A sus2. Again, note the doubled B notes on all these chords. And then E5 again. Okay, that's D6. Very important little tip here. When you go from the E chord to the D, as is always the case when going, say, from any open E chord to a D chord, you got to mute that low E string. You don't want it bleeding or ringing into the D chord. So you're going. What I did, I just kind of like brought my thumb around and just hooked it over just enough to like check and stop the E string from ringing. Okay, and then you have that the fast grand finale part of the song, which is the like a fiddle solo on the original recording. And what I do here, I just play a strummed octaves melody. But now I have the droning B and high E string and the droning low E string, and I'm muting the D. So I'm going. Okay, so it's actual frets, 13, 12, 15. But if you were to think in terms of the capo, it would be 12, 11, 14. See, that's the problem with playing so far away from the capo. It's better to think of the actual frets, right? And then I went into a little bit of I Can See for Miles, that earlier Who song. So that's like a G shape, A shape. We could have the open B string in there. And then for the grand finale on. This is the hardest part right here. You're gonna go. Up here, see, I could do this on my double cutaway with the SG. Actual frets here are 18 and 19, 20, 18 and 20. So that's like an E9 chord. Now, at this point, I switch to my middle finger and pinky, and I do let the open D string ring. So you get the open E, the open D, the open B, the open high E. And then I set down the index finger here at the 17th, actual 17th fret. So that becomes an E9 sound and a little slide. And for the big finish, E5 chord like this. It's like your Rush Alex Lifeson chord. So that's that.